share with you just something that I have been loving doing. It's something I can take with me and travel, and it is just watercolors. And it is just so much fun. I was in Texas last week and I was sitting by the pool and I made these two cute little bookmarks. These are ones that I have done, but I've just been having so much fun with watercolors. I'll show you a couple other things that I've been playing with and doing. This one I did in the fall time, and this I thought was just really cute. Cute idea for a birthday card. I've been trying to come up with ideas for my granddaughter, so I've just been doing all kinds of different ideas that I could come up with for pictures. If you read my blog post, you will see that I actually wrote Riley a book, and these are two of the characters from the book. And I think in this pad, I might even have the picture that I drew of Riley. Doing a couple different ones, trying to come up with just the right idea for her. And I do believe this is the one it is. This is the one I ended up putting in the book. So just having so much fun with watercolors. So I thought today I would just go over with you very basic project that is fun to do, and that's those bookmarks. So on my blog post, I have got 2 or 3 YouTube channels that I have found that really inspired me. So I will make sure I link those down below in the description box. But what I did is I just grabbed a watercolor book, and then the other thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need some brushes, different size paint brushes, and you can determine which ones that you want. I started out with this kit, and it's messy, I know, but I absolutely love it. I take this with me whenever I travel now, and it is just my go-to. I've got some other watercolors that I actually use this little porcelain tray for, but when I travel, this just works out perfect, and I'll make sure I put a link down below. And I'm actually gonna use this one today in our project. The other thing you're gonna want is you're gonna want a paper towel. I like to outline all of my projects. You can see like here on this little elephant, these outlines to give it some accent are done with a pen. Now you could definitely use a Sharpie, but sometimes the Sharpie ink runs. And so this is an art liner. There's different brands that you can get out there that actually will hold up, you know, against possible water and running. So I really like to have that. I like to have a cup of water to rinse my brushes in, and I'm gonna show you today a paint on wet approach. And so I'm gonna have a jar here that's just got some regular water in it. So bookmarks. So today I thought it would be fun to show you how I did these little whimsical birds. And we can add some things to them, definitely. But you can do all different things when you're doing with watercolors. So you pick what you would like to make. These are some other cute little whimsical birds that I had done. So lots of different things. It's just so fun to do. So in this case, because I want to leave the eyes white, I like to draw out my birds first. And so as you can see, I've got some circles drawn. Now, before we get there, let me talk to you about my paper. What I did is I do have my paper taped down. I've got a little acrylic sheet that I use. And the reason why I'm taping it down is so we're gonna be doing a lot of water on here. And what will happen if I don't tape it down, the bookmarks will dry like that. So we definitely want to have them taped down so that way they will have a better chance of drying flat. So I've already done some here, but let me just show you what I did. I've got a roll of tape. You guys can use anything that works for you guys. And I just did 3 circles wherever you want to do them. And then you can freehand the eyes, or I happen to have this little piece of acrylic, and I just am drawing a line around and to create these eyeballs. Because what we're gonna do is we are going to take our pen and we are going to outline. Now, I like using the micron pens. There's different sizes, definitely. This is a 12, and it is archival ink, so it works really well. Now, what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and draw out where the outline of my bird is going to be, and we're going to erase this pencil line when we're done. So what I like to do is do this because sometimes I am not the best at drawing. So these look funny right now, but we will give these guys a little bit of personality and wait till you see how they come alive. Now these are the same birds that I did while I was sitting next to the pool last week in San Antonio, Texas. And I had so many people stopping and asking me what I was painting. I don't think they've ever really seen people paint next to the pool before. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab my eraser and we are going to erase all those pencil marks. Now, if you guys can freehand draw, you guys go for it. I just like to use that to help me get started. So let's put our little sample there, and let's give our whimsical birds some eyeballs. See how their personalities start to come about? Let's give them some noses. And then once we do this, we'll get the watercolors out. And it's funny how you put eyes in different places and the birds take on whole new life. So let's go ahead and add some legs in here. Not going to be able to see all of them because of how they are standing behind each other. Perfect. Now, let's get our watercolors going. So what I want to do, and the reason again why I did it this way, you guys, is because I want those whites of the eyes to stay white. So I'm going to bring in my water that I'm using to rinse off my brush. I've got my paints here, and I've got a paper towel ready to go. So let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet this first, and I'm being careful not to go where the beak is. So I'm just using the water. Now I could be using my clean water, but my dirty water is not that dirty yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And let's work on one bird at a time. So let's see. Let's make this guy be a purple bird. So I'm going to take some of my purple paint, and because that's all wet, it's not going to go outside my lines. It's going to go where all the water is. So I'm just going to keep adding. See how fun that is? Now I think what I'll do is let's go ahead and add a different color. Let's add some blue in there with it. That's what's really fun, is watching these guys all just blend in. It just adds a little bit more dimension to your bird. Let's see. And I just love this wet on wet when you do something like that, because it is not going to go outside. That's what's so cool about using watercolor paper. So see, now I've got different shading. Okay, so let's add his beak. I'm going to clean off my brush a little bit, and let's give him an orange beak. Now in this case, I did not get it wet, I'm just being very careful with my paintbrush. But if I mess up, who cares? It's my creation. Okay, let's get this guy wet. Now I got still a little bit of orange on my brush, but that's okay. Why don't we make this guy be red? So let's get the red going. Oh, I just love watching that all just do whatever it wants to do. Now, if you think you've got too much on there, this is one method to get it to dry some of it up, okay? Or you can just take your paintbrush and you can move it around. Let's add some color to this guy. I think you need some orange in there. And who cares if you go outside the lines, you guys? Nobody cares. Okay, I think he is going to have a blue beak. Well, it didn't quite come out, did it? Let's try a different blue. That's better. You know what? So let's take that paper towel and I'm gonna get that cleaned up. See how easy that cleaned up? And beak's going crazy on me. Okay, let's do this one down here. Let's do this guy green. This one I'm going to coat all the way around. Let's bring a different green in. You can just layer your colors, which is so fun. And they blend so nice when you do that. Let's see. Get a little bit darker over here. That nose is going crazy. See if we can clean that up a little bit. See how I made that look like a nose again? There, cleaned that baby up. No mistakes when you're watercoloring. Okay, what color of beak should he have? How about, let's see if we can get a bright yellow. That's a neon yellow. I got a little hair on my part of my paintbrushes. How cute is that? Okay, let's see. I think my birds need some eyelashes. And let's do something about the background. I'm gonna grab a bigger brush here. Actually, let's grab this. Let's see. The brush I was just using is a 00, and this one is just called a small round. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put dots of water throughout. So I'm staying away from the eyes, you guys notice. And I'm not soaking it, but I am getting water everywhere. Okay, so let's see. I think up top we need some blue for blue sky. And see how with that, because of how I put that water, it's just, let's do a little bit different blue. And I'm just gonna kind of leave a highlight around my birds and even bring some of that other blue up there. So it's gonna blend. Okay, I think what I want to do is I want to add some green down here. But I want to be careful because I made that bird be green. I just love being able to play with the different colors. See, my bird's still sticking out cute as can be. Okay, let's do a light blue as we come down and meet that green. And again, you guys, there is no right or wrong here. It's what you guys want to do. And some of my background is definitely drying. My water that I put on. I might just add a little bit deeper blue up top. Because a reminder that everything is going to dry lighter whenever you have your watercolors. Okay, these are definitely just some whimsical birds. I wanted to give you an idea of how I've been playing with watercolors. And again, I can't say it enough. This is not my expertise by any means, but I am enjoying doing it so much. I love being able to take it with me when I go. And how cute are those little guys? Okay, we're gonna let that dry. And then I'm gonna show you once it dries, how I finish it off for a cute bookmark. I'll be right back. So it's just about dry. So I wanna show you what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the tape off. And if the tape tears a layer of your paper, don't worry about it. It gives it a little bit more personality. See how that's kind of tearing? I personally like it when it does that. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my scissors. Okay, let's move this guy out of the way and I'll show you the last steps I do to finish off this cute little bookmark. I love my little We Are Memory Keepers crocodile corner chopper. So I went ahead and did the corners on this one that I did earlier today. This one, if I do the corners, I think, yeah, it looks good. I was worried that it was gonna cut too much into my birds, but it doesn't. So how cute is that? Then what I'm gonna do is I am going to grab a paper hole punch, put a eyeball where a good hole is for it. I just like adding a little tassel to mine when I'm doing it, just because I think they hang out of the book so nice. And nothing fancy here. I got some of this twine. I went and got into my stash. And I don't know, I've got it about 4 times here. I'm going to cut each one of them. Okay. And then we're going to hope these thread through good. And they do. And I'm going to tie a knot. Easy as that. Tie that one more time to have it nice and tight. And then the other one, I'll show you another way to do the end. But how cute is that? Just adds so much to these little bookmarks. Now this one's definitely a little bit bigger of a bookmark, so I'm just going to take, I don't know, this time, I'm not going to cut the end. I'm going to poke it through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this through. And just another way that you can do it. Now what I would probably do is go ahead and cut that off. And actually I think that's a little tall or a little long. So look at that. 2 cute bookmarks, whimsical little birds. I think they got cute little personality. If you'd like this Inspiration Friday project, make sure you get a thumbs up. Pick up some handy watercolors, not very expensive at all, and you can get making some bookmarks.